Okay, so we're starting our last part of April 15th. This is part 3. This is also the end of our review of chapter 5 and 6. Don't forget, you can always reach me at my email or on WhatsApp. And don't also forget to make your comments at the bottom of the video so you get counted as having attended class. So, so the objectives, we're going to more chapter 5 and 6 review. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to go over parts of the test, the quiz, because we can't do it together. So we are going to go over some of it here. In a little bit. Okay. No. The first thing I want to do is I want to that's not what we want. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so let me go ahead and recopy this onto our page where we do our work, because I have typed this out, and we're going to read it together and answer some questions. All right, so remember how we talked about work newsletters and stuff? So in some of the newsletters that some employers will have, they'll spotlight different people. I'm going to move myself up here so we can read this. So at this particular place, they have decided to spotlight their employee Eduardo Flores. So he's a accounting department employee and new father. So my name is Eduardo Flores. I grew up with my grandparents in the Philippines. My parents came to the United States to find work and support the family. They worked very hard. 10 years ago, I decided to come to the United States to take care of them. It was a good thing. I came. My mother died my first year here, and my father died a year later. It was difficult to stay in the United States without my family. I was very lonely. I went to a local community college to study accounting and earned an accounting certificate. Then I got a job here. This large company had many employees. I especially liked one worker, a colleague in the accounting department. She was very capable and helped me when I had problems. Eventually, we started dating. After 2 years, I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. Now we have twin boys. I'm not lonely anymore. So let's look over this and see if we can identify some of the time phrases. Let's see. They worked for 10 years ago, comma. That's a time phrase, right? I decided to come to the United States. It's a good thing I did. My mother died my first year here, and my father died a year later. This is kind of a time phrase. It's a long one, though. And my father died a year later. It was difficult to stay in the United States without my family. I was very lonely. I went to a local community college to study and learn and earned an accounting certificate. Then I got a job here. One worker colleague. She was very capable. And eventually, that's a time. That's another time phrase. After 2 years, there's another one. Now we have twin boys. I'm not lonely anymore. So let's look. There's some words in here that we may need to talk about. Let's look at the word support right here. Support, that means like to pay for. Like as a mom, I support my children. I pay for their clothes, their food, their school, all of that. I support my kids. Let's see, capable. This might be a word that you don't know. Capable means like able to do the work. Like when you learn English, you will be capable of speaking English. So that's another word. I thought there was one more that I wanted to go over. All right, well, we'll keep going from there, but the yellow is some vocabulary that may not be familiar to you, and the red are, the time phrases. So now I want you to think about what's the topic of the article. What's the topic of the article? What's the article about? The topic, can't write, of the article is Eduardo Flores. Okay, so the whole article is about Eduardo. So he's the topic of the article. So why did he come to the country, to the United States? Eduardo came to the United States. Sorry guys. To take care of his parents. Right? Because we know that because my parent, they worked very hard. I decided to come to the United States to take care of them. So he came to the United States to take care of his parents. Where did Eduardo go to college? Eduardo went to college at a local community college. Okay, because it says right here, I went to a local community college. Now, he didn't give the name of the college, so we don't know which one he went to. Now, do you think Eduardo is glad he came to this country? Why or why not? Well, it says at first he was lonely because he didn't have family here, but it talks about he got married and had twin boys. So I would say yes, he is happy to be in the United States. He has a good job here and met his wife, right? He has a good job in the accounting department, and he also met his wife here. Okay, so how did he feel after his parents died? Let's look back up here. My parents, to find work and support the family, they worked very hard. 10 years ago, I decided to come to the United States to take care of them. Is it a good thing I did? My mother died and my father died. It was difficult to stay in the United States without my family. I was very lonely, so Eduardo was very lonely without his family or his parents. Let's write that, because that's more specific. Okay. All right. So that's that. What I would like for you to do is, let me try to get all of this on there and get myself out of the way, is go ahead and stop the video and read this out loud, and that helps you with your reading and fluency. And then once you've read this out loud, you can restart the video and we'll pick up with our review. Okay, this is some grammar review. And remember, we're always talking about the simple past in this unit. So the question says, when did they meet or met? When did they meet would be your correct answer. So number 1 is meet. She blank school in August. Start or started? Past tense would be started. Okay. I blank South Korea in 2010. Left or leave or left? Okay, left. I left South Korea in 2010. When did or do Angela move? When did Angela move? He came or come from Japan 1 year ago. Came. Okay, so there's something most of these have in common, and that's their irregular verbs. The only one that's a regular verb is started because it has the ed. The other 4 are all irregular verbs because you have to completely change the way that they are spelled. So how do we know how to spell irregular verbs? Well, they just have to be memorized. There's no rhyme or reason. That's just part of English where we just have to go by memory. So I'm going to erase this, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to continue on with some more. Okay guys, we're going to continue on with some grammar, and these are some of our times that we had been talking about. The answers for these are noon, last week, October 13th, an hour ago, and May. Okay, so let's look at the first sentence. She got promoted on. So when it says on, we know it's a specific day. So a specific day is October 13th, right? He moved to the United States in, when it says in, we know it's like either a month or a year. So our month up there says May. So we're going to choose May. They took the citizenship exam last week. There's really no other clues for that. That's just the only one that fit. They got married at. At means a specific time, and the only specific time we have up there is noon. So they got married at noon. I registered for the class an hour ago. Once again, that's just the only one that fits. So if you need to, go ahead and make any corrections or write these down so you can have them as reference if you want to. And then to do that, stop the video and then come back and we will continue on with some more review. Okay, I think we had talked earlier in the unit about Bohei Chang. So let's read about him again. I was born in 1990 in Beijing. I started university in 2008. I studied civil engineering. In 2011, I moved to Miami. After I moved, I bought a car. I also got engaged. Then I studied computers at a vocational school. I graduated on July 3rd. 3 weeks ago, I found a computer job. In October, I'm going to get married. Okay? So now that go ahead and stop the video and read this out loud to yourself, and then come back and let's answer some questions about Bohé. Okay, so the first question is, did Bohé begin university in 2012? We look up here and we see that he started university in 2008. So let's write that. So Bohé began 2008, not 2011, right? So let's go to our second question and see if it's a yes or a no. So this one's, sorry, the answer was no. Haha. All right. Number 2, Bohé moved to the United States in 2015. That's another no. When did he move to the United States? 2011. Right? Because Miami's in the United States, right? So number 3 says, Bohé bought a car in 2013. Okay, so that's still no, because he bought the car, it looks like the same year he moved to Miami. Okay. Number 4, Bohé got engaged before he moved to Miami. Well, we see he got moved to Miami in 2011, and then he studied computers, and then he graduated, and it looks like in October he got married. So no. What? Sorry guys, I'm horrible at this. Okay. No. He got engaged after he moved to Miami. All right. These are all no. These are hard. Bohé got married on July 3rd. Now, he graduated on July 3rd, right? They didn't give us one yes. No, he graduated on July 3rd. Okay, so there's how we answer questions like that. So I'm going to erase all this, and I'm going to stop the video for a second and come back, and we'll do one more review. Okay, we're going to fill out these sentences, and I'm going to give you some choices. These are going back to chapter, to Unit 5. So the first one says, Kiko, would we say rarely rides or rides rarely her bike? It's rarely. Rides. So Kiko rarely rides her bike. Okay, would you say I always am late or I am always late? It's am always. He never takes or takes never a taxi. Never takes a taxi, right? She often is or is often tired. Is often tired. I sometimes walk or walk sometimes to school. We're going to say sometimes walk. I sometimes walk to school. All right? Okay, guys, that completes our part 3. Next time we meet, we'll be starting a new unit, Unit 7. So don't forget to put your comments in the bottom under the video so you get credit for having participated. And I hope everyone is staying home and staying well. And I will see you soon.